Hey, this is Scout Hamby, EGR design presentation. So, in this presentation, I'll be going over different paper airplanes I made. Starting off, the first one I made was a basic dart. I decided to pick this one because, well, previous to this assignment, I have not made that many paper airplanes, and this was the first one I saw on this website right here, right there. And I wanted to do that. I wanted to do the easiest one just to get started and get like a baseline of what other ones would be. Um, Surprisingly, when I tested these out, this one flew very far compared to the others, but it lacked in its airtime compared to the other ones. Moving on, the lock bottom. This one took around 10 folds to do. I mainly chose it because it interested me with like the cutouts right here, and it didn't look too hard, but it definitely was challenging as it took me a few tries to actually figure it out. Um, with the results from this one, the airtime was amazing. I will say it was definitely the best out of the three. But it did not fly very far. I threw it about 3 times. I cannot get it to go more than like 5 feet. Um, Moving on for the last one, I decided to make a custom one, which really this one is kind of a combination of the two with like how it has the design of the basic dart, but you can see it has features like the lock bottom right here with the cutouts. And on this one, I decided to cut out like these little individual cuts right there. And then this one only took about 6 folds, which wasn't bad. Um, I chose it because I wanted to challenge myself and see what I could make, and I decided to make this. For the results, it flew decent. It lasted like it lasted long, but not as long as the lock bottom. And I can kind of see why with the design, with how it's kind of like a basic dart and how they didn't do that good, but it also has like the flaps, which helped it probably. Um, It also had decent distance too because of the basic dart design. So that might have helped it go further than the lock bottom. And then for the important part, the paper airplane decision matrix. So I decided to score it on things as number of folds, distance traveled, airtime. So those are the 3 things I wanted to kind of critique these paper airplanes on. And I decided to do 40, 30, 30, which equals to 100%. I scored it on a 3-point scale, so 3 being the best, 1 being the worst. And I just multiplied the score. I gave it to the percentage or the weighting. For the first airplane, the basic dart, I gave it a 3 because it did indeed have the least amount of folds and got a score of 120. Moving on, the basic dart again scored a 3 on the distance traveled as it did go the furthest out of the 3, and that gave it a score of 90. And then for the last one, the thing it lacked on the most is definitely the airtime, which I give it a 1, and it scores a 30 overall, which still is not bad as your overall for the basic dart is a 240. Moving on, the lock bottom, the one I was most interested in. This one had the most amount of folds, so I did give it a 1, and this gave it a 40 points. 40 points for the folds. For the distance traveled, sorry. I gave it a 1 too. Could not get this thing to go further than 5 feet. I don't know why, but maybe it was how I made it. I just couldn't get it to go far. But the airtime though, I was really surprised. It lasted a while compared to the others, so I definitely gave it the 3, which gives it a score of 90, which in total it gets 160 on the amount of points. For the custom, this one surprisingly was like just a decent paper airplane. For the number of folds, it was only about 6, so I did give it a 2, which gave it an 80. For the distance traveled, it was also a 2. It was close to the basic dart, but it didn't pass it. Give it 60. And then the airtime surprisingly wasn't that bad. It was a lot better than the basic dart. So I gave it a 2, gives it 60 total, which in total it has a score of 200, which according to the decision matrix, the best overall paper airplane for my project did happen to be the most simple one, the basic dart, which I can see why, since how I scored it was the number of folds, which I kind of did that because I'm new to building making paper airplanes, and I think it's more effective the least amount of folds, or just like easier for me. So I think that's why I weighted it so much. And the distance was definitely the best. It was very good design for distance. And then airtime, it did lack, but overall, it did get the best according to the decision matrix. And yeah, that's all I have today for the paper airplane project. Thank you.